is adhering to the lockdown regulations and keeping safe. I'm still here at home, making the most of the situation and thankful that we are still here during these times. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's An-Nur the Light. After the Eastern Cape we go to meet one of East London's longest serving magistrates, Nazim Jumath.
Service to country, community and oneself can be a daunting task and not something very many people achieve. For Nazim Jumath from the small town of East London in the Eastern Cape, this is all par for the cause as he navigates these requirements on a daily basis.
With us, we aspire to the higher courts. If you ask me what I'd like to do, I would like to ensure that every person, not just Muslim, every person has a home. Days like this when it rains, there are people who are in shacks and then the water is coming in that's flooding, So if we can get that right, we went on a mission where we started building toilets, and those toilets was just to help people who stay in shacks. So at night the young girls need to go to a toilet. So when they go to the bush, things happen to them. So what we concentrated on was building toilets, so to secure them. So if we can improve the lives of everyone, if we can get to that stage where people go to bed not hungry, go to bed comfortable, I think that's probably what we all want to attain.
Nazim was born in Kimberley, raised in Gqeberha, educated in Cape Town and then returned to the Eastern Cape to take up the position of the first non-white magistrate in Queenstown. Since then, he has moved through the Justice Department ranks to become the longest-serving magistrate since democracy.
I think when we all studied and when we wanted to see what careers we chose, it's normally where your father is. My father was a police officer, and it seems the natural stream to go into law, on the other side, that is. The strange thing about Queenstown, I became a magistrate in 1990. I was appointed in Queenstown. And because of that you needed to prove yourself against others. There was, Queenstown, nothing happens there. I used to get in my car every Friday and drive to Port Elizabeth. In the way that I proved myself, there were 2 courts in East London that were problematic, in that their productivity was so low. I was then identified as one of the magistrates who could move into Queenstown to try and sort out Queenstown. They said 6 months. And 6 months turned, 96? No, 95, 94, 95, I think 94. So 94 to 2021, that's my spread of 6 months in East London.
When he's not on the bench, he can be found on the road at the East London Mosque, where his work continues with matters pertaining to the successful running of the city's Muslim community.
Nazeem Joemath is one of the trustees, of Masjid al-Muttaqeen. And since most of the trustees are elderly and sickly, some of them are sickly, alhamdulillah, Nazim plays the major role. He's the chairman. Besides him being the chairman, he plays the major role of doing things at the masjid, looking after, maintenance, improvements, finances of the masjid, alhamdulillah. He's a very likable person. He's a person that is very down to earth, listen to everybody, gives everybody a hearing, alhamdulillah. Because since he's a magistrate of the court here in East London, people knowing that about him, whenever they have problems, they come to him.
These days, there are many foreign Muslims who've settled and opened businesses around the area. This has led to a very active community who continues to fill the space during prayer times. Many of them also rely on Nazim to give guidance with issues they face in adjusting to life in South Africa.
He has managed over the years, alhamdulillah, to create a committee of each and every different community, meaning every different nationality. For instance, we have the Bangladeshi community, they have a committee. Pakistan, they have a committee. India, they have a committee. Somalis, they have a committee. And they are all, alhamdulillah, connected to the masjid. Not only when they have a problem. For instance, when they have a problem, first we will steer them to their committee to sort it out. If the committee cannot sort it out, then myself will try to sort it out, and if I cannot, then Nazeem also comes in. Okay, that is how we operate here, alhamdulillah.
The South African National Zakah Fund is a national organization that provides services to the disadvantaged communities. Their presence in a province is overseen by a regional leader, and there are few better people to fulfill this role than Nazim Jumath.
Besides the continuous motivation, his determination to see success, not just in the office, as sense of, as he is a local magistrate judge, he is aware of the challenges that the Eastern Cape or the East London community face on a daily basis. What a better opportunity to put those projects, programs, systems in place within an Islamic environment. Because let's face it, the effects, the challenges that the people are facing on a daily basis, besides the poverty, the increase in crime, and I think in every region really, but particularly in the Eastern Cape, where there's an increased number of unemployment. So he's aware of the challenges, and he has the ability to come in and implement systems that work within the office.
Even though Nazim's schedule is very full, he makes sure he finds time for his most important pastime, golf. A round with some of his friends is not only about letting off some steam, but also connecting with people who he's formed strong bonds with.
Yeah, for me, that is very important, to get away just from the hustle and bustle. That 4 hours on the golf course, to me, is escape. I put the phone off, don't talk to anybody, don't want to know anybody until I finish. And when I'm finished, and it's a nice camaraderie, man. The guys that you speak to, the guys that you play with. We are, in East London, we are very, very fortunate that we've got golf courses here, state of the art. And half the price of what you would pay in Cape Town. So it's very affordable. But I remember when we started playing golf, and we as non-whites didn't really know about golf, So we would go to the golf course and hit the ball. And at the start, all the caddies would run, want to take our bags. And after 2 or 3 trips there, we would get there and the caddies would start hiding. And I called one caddy, and it was a guy that was in my court, so he was very scared. So he came to me. I said, "Why is everybody running away when we come?" They said, "No, sir, man. When you come, you're eating in the bush and you tell us go find the ball. We're in the bush all day, So we rather want to get people who can put the ball on the fairway, That is how we started.
At the end of the day, home is where Nazim finds the most comfort. Far from the courtrooms, the aid office and the golf course are the people who most matter to him. Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life, and we will surely give them their reward in the year after, according to the best of what they used to do. Surah An-Nahl.
Our next segment has been a lifesaver for me during the lockdown, as I was able to catch up on some books that I've been putting off for a while and use the tech and app to download some really cool stuff. Check out what we have this week.
According to Mirza Jawar Beigh, one of the characteristics of modern life seems to be a breakdown of family life, the foundation of which is a happy and healthy marriage. This book has vast implications on individuals and society in terms of hardship, lack of social concern and responsibility, and a culture that promotes selfishness and self-satisfaction at all costs. In this short booklet, the author attempts to share their learning and understanding of the main issues in a marriage and a look at what it takes to make a marriage a source of great joy and fulfillment in this life. The first specialized Hudu foot washer is designed especially to assist adults and children, seniors, pregnant women, and those with movement-related challenges. The Hudu foot washer allows Hudu ablution to be performed while standing comfortably. It is simple to set up and quickly connects to water and drainage supplies without the need of a professional plumber or any power. Simple and hygienic to use and uses minimal water, which allows you to save water efficiently. Now your entire family can enjoy doing Hudu easily without spilling and splashing water around the washroom. Islamic Pillars is a free educational app created for Muslims to learn about the 5 pillars of Islam in detail. Shahada, Salah, fasting, Zakah and Hajj are the 5 fundamentals of Islam that are obligatory for every Muslim to follow. The app is specifically designed to shed light upon these basics of Islam and to help people know Islam in an interactive way. It is available for free download on Google App Store and iTunes. You can download Islamic Pillars now to learn and teach your kids about these 5 pillars of Islam.
The Burkhardt Community Garden Initiative came about when community members saw a need to grow vegetables during the lockdown. Our crew went to learn how it has uplifted and inspired the locals in the area.
The Burkhardt is well known for its colorful houses, number of mosques, and most importantly, its friendly people. The community spirit has been a hallmark in good and bad times. Some very enterprising ladies saw a need for a community garden and found a space in one of the parks to plant the first seeds.
The purpose of the Burkhardt Community Garden is that originally we wanted to share. I think the main reason why we wanted a garden was for the community to be more aware of eating wholesome, and also more importantly is the youth. Teaching, because ultimately our mission or the vision of our garden is that we want to teach people. We want the youth to learn about gardening, but also eating from the earth.
In what can only be described as a labor of love, Abida, who lives close by, tends to the garden daily. Over time, as other members of the community have seen her ploughing away, they too got involved and are slowly building the resources and knowledge to become something sustainable.
What I envision for the space is for the elderly, a space where we can cook, a space where we can sit quietly, a space to make salah, to reflect, a space to get your hands dirty. There's nothing as therapeutic as playing with sand, playing with clay. Even we wanted to create a little mud kitchen also for the kids, even for adults. It's so important also for adults, you know, to invite the inner child. Like I love to say, invite the inner child to just squish, like just hearing the squidgy noise when you walk through the mud, and creating something from that. Even food. I mean, you know, that is Jada's passion is cooking. She's so amazing with cooking, and cooking from, I mean, fresh. If you pick the food fresh, like the veggies fresh from the plant, it tastes so much better than the next day. And we want to bring that alive, and people should experience that. And we want to get us an alternative source of funding through this, maybe through tourism. Those will be our plans further down the line, where we don't have to sell the veggies, because it's a place we don't want a trade to take place. It's about building relationships. No trade should exist. It should be about sharing. And so we'll sustain ourselves through offering workshops, classes for the youth, for the elderly to sit in under the shade, and even having a eco brick oven where you can bake bread and have pizza. It's just a wonderland to create a wonderland within the urban city.
I think what I love most about coming here every day is not only because I'm passionate about gardening, I see the kids and I see, because our community garden is attached to a park, so the kids come to the park, and when they come to play in the park, they see me. And when they see me and they come into the garden and asking the questions, I think by sharing the garden with the kids and the youth of the Bo-Kaap community, I think that gives me like a very good feeling.
As the area is a sought-after tourist attraction, many locals were making a living wage being employed in this sector. The coronavirus pandemic effectively crippled this industry and left huge numbers of unemployed people. Locals could, however, collect much-needed vegetables from the garden.
We would like to take the Bo-Kaap Community Garden as a mother garden, as a garden that people can turn to, but at the same time teaching people and to grow, to make people aware how important it is to grow our own foods, because we are not only challenged by financially, I think we are hugely challenged with food. And if we can grow our own food and we can get through to people to plant their own food and to harvest their own food, I think then we will continue to do that.
Residents from around the neighborhood became inspired by the local garden, and soon enough more and more spaces were being turned into food-growing areas.
When we got married, we didn't really tend to the garden, but with his father passing, we had to tend to the garden. His sisters live far away. We stay just up the road, so we're looking after the garden. We have to look after it daily. It's not for any one of commercial reasons. It's just purely for our recreational habits. We eat the fruits from the garden, so it saves on our woolies bill. I think it's just purely recreational. We don't do anything for commercial reasons, and it's just with my husband's engineering brain, just figuring out things as we go along, as you would have seen his little irrigation system.
Innovative ways of conserving, planting, composting and upkeep have added to the mix, and neighbours are exchanging ideas on how to better grow sustainable food crops.
He worked in engineering all his life, and he used to design things with his mechanical engineering background. So he started looking. You look at things and you just start seeing different things, and I think that's where, making things easier for yourself as opposed to having to carry the buckets and fill up one bin. He just decided this makes it easier, and that helps, having that background.
Food gardens can now be found all over the community, and many people are getting to harvest daily.
Because we are focused mostly on the kids, so the kids kind of are invited, I'd like to see the community coming out more to our garden so that we can encourage them to garden and to plant at home, because that is what one of our plans are, that we would like to see a garden on the stoep, a garden in the backyard of every single home in Bo-Kaap. And that's where we started the home garden packages, where the Department of Agriculture, they are issuing to every person that qualifies, who has a low income, to plant at home.
Sustainable gardens are sprouting in cities all over the world. The move to knowing where your food comes from has been gaining traction. In Bo-Kaap, this has added to the resourcefulness of the community, where food is being grown and sourced locally.
Alhamdulillah, we are at the end of another episode. I urge everyone to keep sanitizing, masking up, and beware of your social distance between people. I'm Mara Mukwanda, Salam Hantle. Assalamu alaikum.
searching for the light and you see no hope inside, be sure and have no doubt, He is always close to you. He's the one who knows you best. He knows what's in your heart. You'll find your peace at last if you just have faith in Him. You're always in my heart and mind. Your name is mentioned every day. I follow you no matter what. My biggest wish is to see you one day. 'Cause I believe, I believe, I believe. Do you believe? Oh, do you believe?
'Cause I believe in a man who used to be so full of love and harmony. He fought for peace and liberty, and never would he hurt anything. He was a mercy for mankind, a teacher till the end of time. No creature could be compared with him, so full of light and blessings. So always in my heart and mind. Your name is mentioned every day. I follow you no matter what. God will to me one day. 'Cause I believe, I believe, I believe. Do you believe? Oh, do you believe? If you lose your way, believe in a better day.
Trials will come, but surely they will fade away.
If you just believe what is basic, just open your heart
And let His love flow through.